Trump is a traitor to this country. They have no patriotism in their heart. They're traitors. They're selling this country to the Russians, and they're blind to the oligarchy, to money. They're racist.
They are attacking the right to protest. They are attacking the media. They are attacking the courts. They are attacking and stripping away the rights of our immigrant sisters and brothers. We are here for 100 hours, day and night, 24/7. We will be here indicting the fascist Fox News network. We will be here indicting the Trump fascist regime. We will be here getting people organized, because at the end of these 100 hours, we are taking to the streets across this entire country. July 15th, we say, Trump and Kid must go. July 15th,
This is a network of people who have parroted and repeated every lie that has come out of Donald Trump's mouth. That's right, I said lie. Not his conservative views, not differences of opinions. They have parroted and repeated and spread and reinforced lie after lie to justify this coming to power of a fascist regime, their move to reorder society, to eliminate the separation of powers and the rule of law, and the implementation of things like the Muslim ban. They're unleashing ICE agents to terrorize and hound our immigrant sisters and brothers. They're demonizing and scapegoating an entire part of the world for being Muslim and talking about defending Western civilization. And they're not talking about the Western Hemisphere. They're not talking about the geographic West. I'm not even sure he knows which direction the West actually is in. When he talks about the West, he's talking about white Christian men and the whole history of colonialism and European domination that has obliterated people all across the world. And that is what they are legitimizing and normalizing, and it is the kind of hate and fear-mongering and actual alternate facts, meaning lies, that are presented as more true if you believe them, that allows people like Jeremy Christian to insult and terrorize young teenage girls on the train in Portland, Oregon, right before he slit the throat of 3 men who stood up to him and against his anti-Muslim bigotry and hate. It's the same kind of lies, fear-mongering and whipping up of white supremacy that allows for things like the Charlottesville KKK to rally in Virginia just days ago. Things that people thought they had pushed back to the dark ages and slammed back are coming out of the caves and out of the basements and onto the streets.
Tell them.
Things that we thought we had been done with. People thought they didn't have to talk about how white supremacy and eugenics and believing people are actually inferior. We didn't have to have that conversation anymore. A lot of people thought. Now it's on the fucking news. On things like Fox News, actually talking about whether or not Muslims should be put in internment camps. There had already been a verdict on that. It was called the Nuremberg trials, where they put the Nazis on trial for their crimes. It was already a verdict on that, and people said no, and now they're bringing all that out of the woodworks. And over the last couple of years, there had also been a verdict that it is not okay that police are getting away with murdering black and brown people all across this country. People are taken to the streets all over the place to call out the injustices, to point to the video after video after video. And there have been some steps, consent decrees they call them, in police departments across the country. What did they do? Jeff Sessions. Oh, things like not allowing the police to torture people and pistol whip them is going too far to restrict the police. That's what Jeff Sessions said. Right when he moved to eliminate all these consent decrees that were made with all these police departments that have been investigated by the Department of Justice and shown repeated pattern after pattern after pattern after pattern, decade after decade of what? You don't even need to know that much to know. In America, if there is an investigation about abuses and injustice, who are the victims? Black people and Latinos. Okay? And place after place, pattern after pattern, investigation after investigation, this revealed itself to be true. And what's Jeff Sessions' answer to this? We need more. More and more police terror and murder. We need more of the mandatory minimum sentencing that is producing huge wave after wave of people massively incarcerated in a prison system that that is already the largest by number and by scale and weight, the largest prison network in the world throughout history. This is the homeland of dungeons. This is the homeland of torture. This is the homeland of mass incarceration, the homeland of slavery and genocide, and this is what Donald Trump means when he says make America great again. A return to that. And this is the mentality that is being whipped up by the legitimizing and normalization that is going on at the Fox News Network. Actually defending a man who brags about grabbing women by their genitals. Actually defending a man who has gone on fucking Twitter over and over again to spew the most violent hatred of women. And his vice president, who, by the way, may not be as vile, but is just as vicious and hateful towards women. Only he has a more Handmaid's Tale, Dark Ages view of how women should be put down and oppressed. The other side, which has taken off its mask and come out as openly white supremacist, openly full of hate towards Muslims, refugees, and people from all other parts of the world. Open misogynists and patriarchs. This other side is emboldened because they have their orange monster in the White House. They have their regime that is backing up all this vile, vicious crap that is coming out of the woodworks all over this country. They do not feel like they have to make an argument. They have been moving. They have been beating people and terrorizing. They have murdered people. The side of humanity needs to manifest. The side that is saying no to everything vile and vicious coming out of this regime, that no needs to manifest across the country. The side of the people of the world needs to be manifest and come out in opposition to something that is threatening group after group and humanity as a whole in the environment we live on. And July 5th